Good evening everybody and welcome to the Stockton Riverside College Access to Higher Education live event. It's wonderful to have you all here with us this evening. My name is Andrea Harrison. I am the Programme Area Leader for Access to Higher Education, and my fellow panellists this evening are going to be Marie Andrews, who is the Course Leader for Access to Higher Education, and also John Erland, who is the Access to HE Manager from One Awards, which is our awarding body. So it's great to have both of you online with us this evening. Access never ceases to amaze me, right? Access is just one of those courses, one of those things that is absolutely amazing. And you might think, oh, you would say that you're the Programme Area Leader, it's your course, it's your area at the college, but Access is amazing. It's about something special. It's about that time in life when somebody has actually taken a thought and gone, actually, I'm going to do something different. And do you know, this evening is one of these amazing times as well. There's over 113 attendees wanting to be with us this evening. And to me, that is just absolutely fantastic. So welcome to absolutely each and every one of you. Welcome to all of those of you who have already applied, and indeed some of you who've already enrolled, and you are so much closer to starting that Access journey. It's so exciting. And welcome as well to all of those of you who are thinking, oh, what's Access about? Shall I do an Access course? Let's just pop online and have a look. Because there are clearly so many people out there looking for a change in career. People are looking for that turning point in life, or sometimes it's just the time in life is actually right for you now. It's your time to begin an exciting new journey, and your journey will eventually take you to study a higher education course in the future, and that is life-changing. It's amazing. It can change the whole direction of your career and your future life ahead of you. So I'm really excited for you, and I hope that you're going to share my excitement and enthusiasm, not just this evening, but throughout the year when you join us on the courses. So thank you for choosing us, whether you're already with us or whether you're thinking of applying, but thank you for choosing us to start this journey with and letting us travel that journey along with you, because Access really does change lives, and this is your time. You've decided that now is the time to change yours. So I'm really excited for you. You have on your screens the option to ask us questions. Please do ask any questions that you've got. And don't wait until the end of this event. Don't wait till we're 20 minutes in or half an hour in. If you've got a question, start typing now. Pop your question to us and we'll try and answer them throughout the event and try and get the answers to you. We will absolutely try and answer every question tonight, but if we can't get through them, if we have an influx of questions or time doesn't allow, we will post frequently asked questions or missed questions or something that we just haven't quite been able to get to this evening, and we'll share that out with you because we'll have your registration details already. So I think that's enough from me to start off with, and I will hand over to Marie Andrews, our course leader for Access courses at Stockton Riverside College.
Hi and good evening. Welcome to this event. Similar to what Andrea has already said, Access can be a life-changing event. It can lead to a new career for you. Currently at Stockton Riverside, we are running 4 different Access diplomas. We have the Access to Health diploma, Access to Social Care diploma, the Access to Science diploma, and the Humanities and Social Sciences diploma. The health programme runs over a day and evening courses, so you can apply for either the day course or the evening course. The social work and the science course is run on the day, and humanities and social sciences is held on an evening. We have lots of students who are applying for these who go on to do many different careers, from your nurses, midwives, mental health nurses, paramedics. We have students who are applying who want to go on to do education, psychology. We've got one this year who's applied to do pharmaceutical, diagnostic radiography. There's a lot of different career opportunities available for from your Access programme. So similarly, as Andrea said, if you have any questions that you want to ask, then please put them in the questions section.
I think we've possibly already got a question coming through as well. People are asking, well, there's a couple here asking, how will they know if they've been accepted for their advanced learner loan? Well, when you've applied for your loan, you will have your own account on the loans portal, and you will be able to track the progress of your loan application individually on there. And what you will find is your loan status will change on the portal. So it'll tell you whether it's been processed, whether they've got missing evidence or require further information from you. They'll also tell you whether or not it's been approved. Now, the important thing with the advanced learner loan is once they've approved it, they send out a confirmation letter usually and ask you to sign that confirmation and send it back, and that's called your declaration. And that sometimes gets people because they see the approval and then don't realise they've got to send the declaration back. So you can keep track on it on your loans portal. Once we get into the start of all the enrolments coming through and having you on our computer systems, we then will be able to see your loan progress as well. We won't see the depth and detail like you guys do, but we will be able to then advise if we've seen approval of your loan. So do keep checking the portal, and it is really, really useful, and it's full of information. If they need anything else, say for example, you may have forgotten to send a birth certificate, they'll ask you to pop that across. So good question, thanks guys.
James has also asked a question about any books that are required for the humanities and social sciences. As you start the course, James, you will be given a reading list that's a guide for helping you to study on the humanities and social sciences. We also have access to Athens account through the college, so you'll be able to access some research and some sources there as well. And am I passing to John now? Thank you.
Okay, so I'll just wait for it to come over to me. Am I live? Good evening, everybody, and I'm absolutely delighted, thrilled and honoured to be invited to take part this evening. And I just wanted to say a little bit about Access, and my part of this was about, well, why Access? Access is truly a transformational qualification, and I don't exaggerate that. I've been involved in Access since about 2003 in various, mainly as a teacher. I've taught on it as well before joining One Awards as the Access to Higher Education Manager. And the changes that people go through are staggering, and it makes me immensely proud to be associated with this qualification, because I think I've taught on probably every type of qualification that you can think of, from years 5 and 6 in primary school all the way up to undergraduate and actually even postgraduate as well. And there's never been a qualification that I've taught on that has been so demanding and challenging, but yet so rewarding on a professional and a personal basis. And by you even thinking that you want to do an Access course is absolutely fantastic. And you've chosen to even just find out about Access. I would hazard a guess because there's something in your life that you're not happy about. There's at least something in your life that you want to change. And Access can change that for you. It can really open doors. If you want to change your life, then choosing Access is the way to do it, because it really will change you. And the one word of warning I would say is that if you don't want to change, don't do Access, because you will never be the same individual again. And as I've said to everybody that's thinking about doing Access, if the only thing that you get out of doing this qualification is the qualification, that's a shame, because you should use this opportunity to change yourself, and it will change you and it will transform you. You'll become a role model. You'll become somebody people look up to. You'll be somebody who your family will be immensely proud of, even more than they are at the moment. And just to emphasize that before I go on any more, I would just like to play you this little video, because I think these individuals who are in your shoes when they started their career, they decided to do Access. They actually were where you are sitting now. They took Access, and this is what it does for them. So I'll just play you this now. Bear with me. Excuse me. Where's it gone? There it is.
I never expected to get into uni. I just thought, even if I got my education a bit better, I could have more confidence to go into a different profession, really.
Going into Access, I was really nervous. I was really nervous going in there because I'd never done anything like that before. I didn't know if I'd be capable. I didn't know if I could even do it.
Every aspect of my life has been improved because of that decision to do the Access course.
I had a couple of little wobbles through it, having not been in education for the best part of 10 years.
It was a stepping stone for me to get me into university.
I could just do it on a night after work, so that fitted with my life better.
It's a year out of your life to then get into the career that you've always wanted to do.
You get so much support, and I just think, just go for it. I'd do it again. It's really good.
You don't know what you can do till you try. You know, you might surprise yourself. It's hard, of course it's hard, you know, but the rewards that you get for the hard work that you put in, it's all worthwhile. You know, it's all worthwhile.
And I just thought I'd really like you to see that, because these are the words from students who were sitting where you were, and they have gone on to change their lives, and as importantly, change the lives of their family as well. So access to higher education is not an easy choice, but for me, it's probably the best choice you're ever going to make. And the beauty of it, and which leads me on to my next bit, is why you should be thinking about doing this. There are so many benefits. You will become more confident. You will become somebody people look up to. You will hold your head held high, and you will become a very, very different person. But, and this is the good news, it's such a special qualification that even the government recognises the importance of access to higher education to adult education. And if you take out an advanced learner loan for the access to higher education diploma, and you go on to finish and achieve your HE course, whatever HE course that might be, then this loan for the advanced learner loan for your diploma is written off. Now that is not given to anyone else. No other qualification is given that write-off. So effectively, if you join this access course, you take out an advanced learner loan, and you go on and you get your degree, at least this loan you don't have to pay back. So you're getting a fantastic qualification. You're changing your life like never before for nothing. So what more can I say about that? The advanced learner loan, it depends on what qualification you're getting, and the college sets that fee. So I'm sure Andrew and the team can take you through that. But believe me, when you come on to do an access course, you will thoroughly enjoy it. You will never have a year like it again. You will be absolutely cream crackered by the end of it. You will be on your knees, you will be tired, you'll be exhausted, but you will be proud, and you will be an immensely changed individual who can hold their head held high amongst everybody else out there. So do it. Thanks,
John. There's some questions coming through. If we can just pick up on a few questions before we move on to the next bit. There's a couple of people who said, could they have a one-to-one chat with some of the staff? Yeah, that's absolutely fine if they want to have a one-to-one chat after the calls or on a different day. If you just let us know exactly your name and your contact details, we will definitely speak to you about your individual options. That's fine. Some students are on the pre-access with us at the moment. Timetables and things when we start college, we're looking at the first week in September, and depending upon what diploma you choose and what rota you select when you're offered a place, that'll determine the days that you're in college. Our day students need 3 days set aside, 2 where they will be in college and 1 where they will need a full day, either where they choose to come in and use the LRC facilities or they study from home. But you definitely need that 3rd day to be able to get your access course done. And obviously we have the fast track route, which is the evening route, and that's 2 evenings. They run on a Tuesday, Wednesday and a Wednesday, Thursday, again, depending upon which diploma you do. So if you're on pre-access, drop an email as well to your tutors, and they'll be able to direct you through that. We're also being asked what happens if my loan's not approved before September. Number one, don't panic. That's fine. As long as your application's in and you've provided all the information that you need, you have got 6 weeks, okay, from the start of your programme to getting your loan application approved. And that is usually more than enough time. We always advise, though, that you apply now. You apply as soon as you possibly can for your loan, because it's not just you, there is thousands and thousands of other learners applying for advanced learner loans, not just Access course, and all the HE learners as well applying for their finance. So please do put your loan application in, check you've sent everything off, and keep checking your portal. Those of you who haven't had a declaration yet, don't worry, just keep an eye on that portal. We'll be able to see your approval status, and we'll monitor and track that through when you start as well. Hopefully by then we will see some declarations coming through. Sorry guys, I'm going to keep talking because there's loads of questions here, but I will pass back to Marie very shortly. But all very good questions. How do I know if I'm eligible for free funding if I'm 18 plus? 18 to 23, if you have not studied a level 3 qualification before, you may be entitled to have your course fees paid for. So that's for 18 to 23. So it's another special pot of money that can cover your first level 3 qualification. If you think you may fall into that category, you can drop us a message at the college and we can check your eligibility status, because we check your individual learning record and we can see what you've studied anywhere before in terms of funding. So our information and guidance team at the college, primarily that's Gareth and Shona, they'll be able to help and guide you with that. So please drop us an email on that. So again, good question. Do we know when we will find out how much we've been awarded for bursaries? I don't actually. If you're talking about a bursary that is Stockton Riverside College Fund bursary as an FE student, that is something that will go through an application process with our student services team, and they will contact you individually, because everything is based on an individual circumstances, and each application is very, very different from a bursary perspective. But if you have got your application in, you want to chase it up a little bit, just contact the email address that you sent your bursary application to, and they will help chase that up for you. And I do think that we usually get towards September, because we need to see all the applicants kind of come in, and it's not an infinite pot, it is a pot of money, but it's not an infinite pot, and then we start to look at what's happening there. But student services take that on board. Microsoft Office, no, you do not need to pay for it. You will get access to the whole Microsoft 365 package. I started using 365 last year, and I was horrified at first because everything was different and I had to change things, and I had to start learning things like OneDrive and, well, where do I put my USB stick? And Paula Kilburn, one of our IT guys, she said, Andrew, you don't need one of them. You can have everything online. I'm like, where is it? She's like, in the cloud. And do you know, guys, it's fantastic because it's up to date, it's current, the software's there, it's accessible on the internet everywhere. I'm over the moon with it because I've been learning so much more with Office 365 over the past year. But you will get full access to our 365 package, Teams, and all the other apps that go with it as part of the educational package once you sign up and are enrolled with the college, and will activate your IT account. How do you find out if you've passed the pre-access course? Your tutors will be in touch. If you've done a pre-access course through lockdown, and if that is you, can I just say well done, because you've actually started and finished a course during lockdown. That's an immense achievement in itself. But at the minute, we have got external moderators going through all of the pre-access courses and are looking at those. The external reports come back, and as soon as our staff have all the information, they will contact you out, and then we'll contact you out regarding certificates for that as well. So congratulations to those of you. There seems to be a few who've done pre-access already. That is excellent. Let's have a look. How long is access valid for? Access is valid for about 3 years. And the bit of advice I'm going to give you here is, can you please look to see what your university course requires? What are the entry requirements for your university course? Some universities accept English and maths from Access, and that's all they need. Some need you to do functional skills as well, and some actually still need you to do GCSEs, and some courses want GCSEs in maths, English and science. My advice to you would be, if you are that person and you're looking for those select courses, please do, if you can, do your GCSEs that's in that first year, because your GCSEs tend to have more like a 5-year lifespan. So if you do your GCSEs first, you will get all the GCSE requirements that you need, and then next do your access course, because then when you've completed your access course, you've got 3 years worth of validity. If you do it the other way around and you do your access course, but then you can't apply to uni because you need your GCSEs, you take the next year to do 3 GCSEs, you've only got a 2-year lifespan on your access course. So it really does make sense to do GCSEs that year before, if that applies to you. We do have students who do GCSE courses, it's 1 or 2 GCSE courses, sometimes alongside access. But I would say to you that is an immense workload, and all I'm saying to you, that is a massive amount. It's absolutely doable, but you've got to have the time and commitment to do that. So please do check your university course entry requirements, and don't just look at Teesside if you live in the local area and assume that every nursing course is going to have the same requirements, or every midwifery course, or every teaching course, because it's not. Each university, it could be Sunderland, York, Leeds, Plymouth, they could all have different entry requirements because they set their own requirements. So don't just look at one, look at everywhere that you're going to apply, and make sure that you really are fully informed. We have a little look at some more of these. Yeah, absolutely. There's some more people coming through asking for one-to-one conversations, and we'll hopefully pick that up. And we'll get back to you. If you've put it through as anonymous, you may have to let us know your name, because there's an option to pop your name on to say that you want a one-to-one call. But if you've put your question through as anonymous, I'll find it very difficult to get back to you. So if you could just shout up with your name, that would be absolutely great. Okay. I'll pause there because there's still some questions coming through. I'll pause there if that's okay, and I'll hand over to Marie. I'll give you a break from me for a little while, and I'll let you join Marie Andrews.
Hello and welcome back to me. I'm just going to explain a few of our success stories from Access. Like both John and Andrea have said, this can be life-changing for some people, and life-changing in the career choices that they've made. A couple of the ones that spring to mind is I had a learner who had looked after her sister while she was terminally ill, and in the watching of her sister and looking after her sister, she really decided that nursing was a career pathway for her. She thought she'd found her niche. So she came on, she enrolled, she applied for the Access to Health course, and she needed to do the pre-access first. She completed the pre-access. She progressed onto our Access course, and she was offered a place at Teesside University doing nursing. In amongst all of this, she was nominated for a scholarship where she could have her fees paid for the nursing course. At first, she thought it was only a year. She was getting 1 year of her fees paid, and she didn't. She's got all 3 years of her nursing qualification paid for. She is absolutely over the moon. She's following her dream now. She's realised this is a career that she wants to be in. So she will be starting her 2nd year into nursing this year. We have other students who don't just stay local, they move on further. We have a student this year who wanted to do diagnostic radiography, and he got some volunteering work in the local hospital, and again, once he'd seen what was happening in the environment, he enjoyed it, and he thought, this is where I want to be. So he applied for many universities, including Wales and Bradford, and he got offered a place, and he is going off to study diagnostic radiography in Bradford this year. We have other students who come and want to be teachers. They feel that they want to motivate, they want to help students to learn, and they come on and they've done our pre-access course, our access course, and they've also gone on to university studying education, primary education. A lot of them have gone on for, and they're studying up at Durham. So we have a few students again with it spreading the wings a bit. We have some students this year who are going on to do different courses like pharmaceutical. We've got one learner who's gone up to Sunderland to study pharmaceutical sciences. That's the first time I can remember anybody going off to do that from our access course, but she's ready, she's prepared, and she's she's willing to go. She's really keen on following that. I believe that all students who complete the Access and Progress On are a success story, because you've come in and you've started this career pathway. Similar to what John said, it's a difficult year, it's going to be hard. You will have days when you feel like, what am I doing? But at the end, you will feel so proud of yourself that you did that. And we as tutors become proud that you've done that as well. We are proud that we see students come in September who will say, I'm not going to learn anything, I can't do anything, I'm not clever enough to do this. And they pass their access course and they're getting the higher grades and they're moving off to university and they're following their goals, they're following their new career aims. So for me, every access student is a success story. Some just have different backgrounds than others, but everybody is a success story.
Can I just come in on the back of that, going back into the time that I used to teach on this, and I remember two ladies coming up to me at the end of the first week of Access, and she had accompanied her friend and she was in absolute tears, sobbing that she couldn't do this and she'd made a terrible mistake and it was all just too much. And I said, sleep on it, don't make any decisions, and I'll like to see you on Monday morning. And she did sleep on it and she came back on Monday morning. We had a chat. She stayed and she got on to get all distinctions right across the board, and she got her place at midwifery. Now, she was an amazing character. She had 4 children. I remember her to this, I won't mention her name. And actually I bumped into her when my wife gave birth to our 3rd child. But you know, you will have days that you'll think, gosh, what have I done? But as Marie has quite rightly said, at the end of it, you will look back and you will feel extremely proud of what you've achieved, because achieving an Access diploma is one heck of achievement. And I guarantee you, if you put the effort in, you will succeed and you will also transform your life. So my advice to anybody even thinking about it, don't think, just do it.
Thanks, John. There's some questions here from a couple of different people who have asked very similar questions, so I'm going to answer these in one. There seems to be a few people who've potentially started level 3 courses in the past, started apprenticeships. For varying different reasons, it seems that they haven't been able to complete that course, they haven't completed their studies. And they're just wondering about the funding and what they'll be able to do. If you're aged 18 to 23, my answer is always going to be the same on this. It's going to be contact us at the college directly and let us know that that is your position, and let us check your ILR, your individual learning record. Our information and guidance team with Gareth and Shauna are really good. They'll be able to tell us whether or not you've utilised your funding already or not, whether or not you've kind of been accredited with a qualification or part of a qualification, and whether or not you'd actually be able to have that funding before. Have that funding now, you haven't used it up before. If you've used a loan funding, that's a different conversation. If you have used your Access loan already and potentially started an Access course somewhere and for whatever reason potentially not continued, if you've been on a programme for more than 14 days, the student finance company will keep a record and will have prorated the amount of loan that you've used. And what you will have to do in that situation is each individual student needs to speak to student finance directly, and they will be able to tell you whether or not you will be able to have a second Access to Higher Education loan. Unfortunately, because the way student loans do work, that's not a decision that the colleges or the awarding bodies can take. That's a decision that Student Finance England for the advanced learner loans will make a decision on. But usually when you've gone in 14 days into the programme, they do start to prorata your funding usage. So I'm not saying it's a yes, I'm not saying it's a no. I said that's got to be an individual conversation, because everybody's needs in relation to that query are very individual when it comes to the learner loan. The next question is much easier. It is, when do we get our student IDs? And that will be in the first week of college. When we come into induct, or the first week, we will have everything socially distanced and be able to take your photographs and get your ID cards printed up. And yes, if you're interested in your student loans because your student ID card because you can't wait to borrow a book, or log onto the computer, or maybe because you've heard that you sometimes can get some discounts in the shops. It can be very useful for that. Don't worry, you will get your student IDs as soon as is possible. Do we need to do the dyslexia screening? Yes, we do. All FE students are screened for dyslexia, and that's to help us determine levels of support and make sure that if you are likely or suspected likely to have some dyslexic tendencies in terms of learning, that we can put the right support and guidance in place. It does not have an impact on you being able to study your course at all, but yes, absolutely everybody needs to be screened, and that's across the whole college provision. So please do, if you have got an appointment through Marie already to meet with Nicole and Val on our ALS team, that's the additional learning support team who run those tests, please pop in and get them done as soon as possible. That would be fabulous. In terms of pre-access courses, I wouldn't worry about failing your pre-access course at this point. If you're on a pre-access course now, if you're a little bit nervous and a little bit worried, send your tutor a message or pop on here and we'll get one of your tutors to give you a call, because it's probably that you just need some support and some guidance, and I'm sure you'll be fine. Obviously, we do need to complete the pre-access successfully to move on to the access course, but hopefully we can get a tutor to contact you and discuss any concerns that you have. GCSEs from 2012, early GCSEs. Your GCSEs don't disappear, but sometimes length of validity for certain courses, they look at recent levels of study, especially in things like maths and English. So don't think that your courses will be invalid, but it's a conversation you need to have with the university that you're applying to determine whether or not they accept those as enough for entry requirements, or whether or not they want you to do some top-up learning or some refresher learning. Quite often, if you've got GCSE grades that universities are asking for, and then you're redoing maths and English, etc., through your access course, then they usually are quite happy with that. But it's an individual answer from each university, so please do have a look. Recommending books for access to health. I can't say I'm going to recommend one book, you know, because I think there's so many good resources out there. There's so many things that you could do. We have a library full of health and social care texts. We have foundations in health and social care, but we have things called Athens, which allows you to access much more professional information. It's articles and publications or newsletters that are written by the professionals who are working in those fields, or the academics who study those fields, and will guide you to some of those resources already. If you're going into health, I would say have a look on the Sky resource, the social care resource. And what you'll find there is there'll be lots of kind of like tips and training videos and things that you can read. Have a look at the CQC website, have a look at the NHS improvement site. Whilst we don't advocate the use of websites for academic referencing purposes, they're still absolutely valid for upskilling and just finding out a little bit of information. One thing I will let you into a little secret is we use e-learning for health. And e-learning for health is a wonderful free resource. It's available through our Open Athens at the college, and when you get your student email, you'll be able to access it, and it's got loads of CPD courses on there and refresher units and snippets of information, and we use those to supplement our units so that you'll be studying those alongside. It also allows you to build up like little mini certificates and CPD records that you can then take to a university and go, like, I'm studying access, and guess what, I've got a CPD record as well, because I've been doing all of this alongside. And yes, it's part and parcel of your programme, it complements your studies, but it makes you shine. It shows the university that you're actually upskilling, you've got the right professional behaviours and attitudes to go on to a university course, and the same with prospective employers.
Can I just put a little shout out there for, especially on the health diploma. If you're doing any science on it, any biology, for example, there's nothing wrong with you using BBC Bite Size.
Oh yeah.
BBC Bite Size is brilliant to dip in and out of the biology, whether that's at GCSE Bite Size or even A-level Bite Size. I would always strongly recommend that you just dip into some of the biology on there, and that can supplement the excellent teaching that you'll be experiencing on the course too.
Thanks, John. That's great. Yeah, there's lots of resources out there, isn't there, that you can use, and just it's anything at all that you read or upskill. If you want a short course before you start your big course, we have distance learning courses as well. There's a wonderful one that I've just come across, which is the certificate in living in a fair and diverse society. And equality and diversity course has been around quite some time, but this one is really current and up to date, and I actually enrolled on it on myself a fortnight ago, and it's only got about 3 or 4 units in it through distance learning. But if you're interested in that, contact Sarah McPhee at the college. Distance learning is available on our website, and that is a lovely short, wholly online course that you can help upskill, and it's got relevant information in that will be embedded throughout some of the units that you're going to study. And it doesn't matter what diploma you're doing, because it's one of those things that it covers everybody everywhere. So have a think of that. Distance learning could be something that, if you're going to do some reading and some research, why not get a qualification out of it? And if you live in England and you're over 19, they're free, so do them. The only way you're ever going to get charged is if you don't complete it and you don't finish it, and then you would get the £120 bill. But if you intend to complete it, then absolutely enrol in a distance learning course and make your learning and your reading count, definitely. Yes, you can do a Maths GCSE alongside, but you would need to speak to our Maths and English team. Leanne Hill is the contact there, so leanne.hill@stockton.ac.uk. She will be able to point you in the right direction as to when and where things like GCSEs or functional skills run, and it would have to obviously be a class time that didn't coincide with your Access diploma, but that could well be possible. We also, to answer another question, have a careers advisor called Carol Race. She can answer questions and help you if you've got some of those questions about different universities and different courses. So that's carol.race@stockton.ac.uk. So please do contact Carol directly. I'm sure she'll be more than happy to help. Let me have a look. There's, you know, somebody here has put a question on, and I'm not worried about this at all, right? If you have dyslexia or any other learning difficulty or disability, it's not going to stop you becoming the professional that you want to be. Not at all. I think everybody, whether you've got something like dyslexia or not, has challenges that they need to overcome, and this might just be your challenge. And it might be that you need to talk to our learning support team, find the strategies that are going to work for you, and then learn how to manage those strategies. So when you go through Access, you'll develop skills and tips on how to address your learning, but then you'll take them forward to the university. And if you have an additional learning need, when you apply to university, also apply directly to their learning support team and get a learning support assessment done straight away. And they'll be able to determine as well what support you'd need when you're in university. So support doesn't stop when you leave FE. There is additional learning support all the way through a degree programme. And I agree, you probably would make a fantastic professional. And I think anybody can. Do not anybody think that any form of learning disability or condition is going to actually have a negative impact on you. In actual fact, you might find that because sometimes people struggle in different ways or have different challenges, you become that little bit more empathetic, so it might actually even go in your favour. So please think really positively on that one. To apply, go on our website. Simply, if you want to get that ball rolling, go onto the website, click the apply button and apply for your Access to Health course today. What will happen then is we'll send you out our literacy and numeracy BKSB assessment, and we will get you through those. And based on your results, we'll either offer pre-access or an access course. And we still have pre-access course. We've got one that just started on Monday, and we have one that starts on the 24th of August. So there is still time, even if you don't get the entry requirement straight away, that you can do a pre-access course and still start access with everybody else in September. So that's fine. You don't need to book day parking spaces for the day course, but you will need to get a parking permit. All of us buy a parking permit at the same price, including the staff. So the first couple of weeks you will be given like a free pass. There won't be any kind of restrictions on that, but there will be signs up and there'll be information and guidance where you can buy your parking permit from at college. I think last year I paid about £30 for my parking permit. I haven't heard of any changes in fees, but I can't imagine they would change radically. But staff and students alike, we pay for a parking permit, and it doesn't guarantee you a physical parking space. It allows you to park on the premises. What it does do is it means that you have equal chance at getting a parking bay. We do have an overflow kind of. There is some parking further down if the car parks get very, very full, but it stops day shoppers in Stockton or other businesses potentially using your parking spaces. So it's well worth it. And I think we're one of the cheapest around. So I know people don't like paying for parking, but it's one of those things that we all have to do. In terms of wearing a mask in college, that's something that we're still looking at. At the minute, education establishments have kind of said that there hasn't been that kind of need, but things are changing on a daily basis constantly with regard to social distances and masks, etc. So at the minute, I'm under the impression that that's not a requirement because it's an educational premise, but we will wait on every single update that comes out and we will follow whatever the national guidance is at the time, but you will be updated and we will get you the right information. I'm just trying to read this last one. Bear with me a second. The e-learning with your employer, I don't know if it'll be the same one. Everybody will have to do the same e-learning package. If you were on e-learning for health and it was done in this academic year, then yeah, that would probably transfer over. If it's not e-learning for health, then we'd advise that you did do the packages just because it complements the units. Some of the e-learning ones are specifically chosen to complement what you're studying at the time and just to embed the rest of those skills and knowledge. And again, like I said, it's so beneficial when you go to university and they ask you to tell me something about a current contemporary issue, or what have you come across lately in social work field, in health, or what are the key things going on in radiography at this moment in time. Then you'll be much more prepared to answer those. Yeah, I think if you want to wear a face mask regardless, I don't think that's a problem at all. And I'm going to hand over to my fellow panelists now, because I've spoken for a long time answering those questions, but they're great questions, and I like the fact that you're all asking lots of questions and you're hoping getting the answers that you need. So I'll hand over to my fellow panelists who will be able to add in anything else that they think I might have missed. Thank you.
I think you've probably covered about everything I can think of, Andrew, but I will say just some general information really about access across the UK. Lots of people think unwisely and wrongly that somehow access is a lesser qualification than any other level 3 qualification, and they couldn't be further from the truth. And one of the most startling statistics that come out of all of this, and this is year on year, is that if you are an access student, you're just as likely to get a first classification on a degree program than any other level 3 student, like an A-level student or a BTEC student. You are just as likely to get a first as an access student, as an ex-access student, as you are with any other qualification. So, you know, you really ought to take that on board, because it's a very important aspect. Don't forget that although most access students don't come with maybe the breadth of knowledge that an A-level student might have or a BTEC student might have, what you do bring is dedication, commitment, and life experience. And those three things are really valuable to higher education admissions tutors, because they know that you're in it for the long haul. And most access students do really, really well at university. So don't let that put you off. Whatever your own feelings, whatever happened at school, whatever happened to, you know, make you maybe not achieve much at school, perhaps, put all of that aside, because this is a new chapter and a time for you and a time to make a difference. So please be aware of that. I thought that was really important. Again, a national statistic which I think is really important. Right across the board, on average, about 40,000 access students are studying on a diploma of some description every single year. 40,000 students, that's a lot of students that are going on into HE, so you're not alone.
Thanks, John. That's really useful. I think I'm coming to the end of some of our questions. I haven't had any more questions come through, so that's great. I think we've answered everybody's query. Obviously, I think one of the things to flag up is obviously Marie Andrews, who you saw earlier on live, is the course leader for the Access courses. So if you did have any specific questions that you think, oh, do you know what, I wish I'd asked that when you've gone off and made a cup of tea later, just pop Marie an email, and I'll plug your email address now, Marie, which is marie.andrews@stockton.ac.uk. So I know some of you will have already been in touch with Marie. Some of you who've already been offered places will have joined our Facebook group as well, and that's quite useful just for keeping up to date and keeping in contact with the staff. And you can actually see some of our other staff members on there, and there's some little videos of our staff members introducing themselves. So if you want to see what the team look like, get onto the Facebook site and watch their introductory videos. But I would like to thank you all for taking time out this evening and spending that time with us. So thank you very much. Thank you to the people who have decided that they are definitely going to apply now and they're hopping on to apply through our website. So welcome to you. I hope those students who've already applied and enrolled have been able to have some of the queries answered that they may have had going on before this session. And I just want to thank Marie and John massively for partaking in tonight's event. And we look forward to seeing you all in September, safe and well, and back in college where we all really, really want to be. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, good night.